What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the Remote Motorcycle Garage. Today should be a fun-filled episode. We're trying to get this piece of shit bike up and running. We've done everything we can. Electric systems are done. That creepy carb video I did last week's finished, so all the carbs are assembled. So all we've got to do now is get everything back in the bike, and then hopefully we'll hear that 3 cylinders power. So stay tuned, it should be a good episode. So last episode probably wasn't entirely obvious how much of a ball ache it was to get those carburetors assembled, and it was because it was an ASMR video. There was no talking, which some people probably absolutely loved, but yeah, that was annoying. It wasn't difficult, it was just you would do loads of bits, assemble it, and then notice there was a bit left over, or had to rearrange a certain bits so to get apart and do it all over again. So that's fine. Those carbs are needed to help get this bike running, because I have Triumph carburetors, which are these are going to go on once I'm happy the bike's running and everything else, but I don't want to have to fight another unknown that is the fueling and everything else. So plan for today is get the old exhaust back on, because I've still got that stainless exhaust. It's not fully welded up yet. I don't want to blow it to smithereens when I try and turn the bike on. So get the old exhaust on. There was a few leaks before as well, underneath the sump of the bike, so tighten all those bolts up, make sure I've not got any more leaks, and then I think it's just a case of connecting everything up and seeing how we get on. So getting everything on is fairly easy. Exhaust just held on 6 bolts, whatever. That's fairly straightforward. The carbs are a nice fit as well. They're pretty tight. The carbs that I've got, they came with these pod filters, not pod filters. They came with velocity stacks. So I just kept them on. I noticed when I was rebuilding the carbs, the jet sizes were bigger, the pilot jet was bigger, so they've already been tuned to these larger velocity stacks. So that's absolutely grand. I'm happy with that. So put them in place, and then we just connect up everything else. So I'm going to shut up now. You can watch this little clip and let me know what you think. Alive.
Holy shit.
So something my camera didn't pick up. This is interesting. The side cover exploded when I started the bike. I don't know why. I think maybe this bolt was loose, and having touched it, it was finger tight. So so eBay, I think, for a new side cover. So that was an interesting one. Never had that happen before. I've got a new lens. I've got a 50mm lens for recording, which I think is really good for. I shot all of that ASMR one with this 50mm lens, but I'm probably not convinced for talking to the camera. It's if I hold it at arm's length and I want to just get a nice close-up, all you would see is my nostril hair. So probably not what everyone wants to see. Maybe some of you freaks would like that, but yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to grab my other lens and swap between them for the rest of this video. But yeah, that side cover was interesting, and funnily enough, the bike's only running on 2 cylinders as well. You could probably hear that. It sounded like a Harley, which is quite cool, but it shouldn't sound like a Harley. So I'm going to do a little bit of fault finding. One of my coils is getting really hot, and I'm not sure why. So I'm going to try and just see if I can do some fault finding with a voltmeter, just to see if there's anything that could lead to. I don't know what I'm doing with that voltmeter, but I will do some googling and hopefully try and tell you what I think I'm going to be doing with it. And then we'll try and get it running again. So 2 things to note. There's a wee leak coming from the right hand side, so I'm not sure what that's from, so go check that. Then also, just in the cylinder head arrangement, there's a bit for your tachometer, and I've not got that in, so there's oil dripping out of that. So I'm just going to see if I can blank that off or get the fitting that needs to go in there, just to tighten it up, just to stop oil coming. I'm obviously not going to run a speedo right now, but I don't want excess oil pissing all over the floor. So yeah, we'll go have a look at that and see how we get on. So first things first, I wanted to charge the battery overnight, just to be sure that it sounded a little bit sluggish. So we'll get the battery charged, take that off, put it back in the bike, make sure everything's nicely connected up, and then probably hang this somewhere else, because right now it's probably too low. So I'll hang this up, make sure that all carbs are getting enough fuel to kind of eliminate that side of things. What I'll probably do is shove a spark plug into the right hand side cylinder and see if I'm getting a spark if I ground it. I checked all that before and I was getting a spark, but I'm just going to double check it, make sure everything's okay. Once that's done, we'll get it started, fingers crossed, again, hopefully firing on all 3 cylinders, and then we shall check that coil, see if it's still really hot. So a few little bits and pieces. I don't know, it's not going to be a keep watching, please don't turn up. Not going to be the most exciting episode maybe, but it'll just be me fumbling around in the dark. Sounds like my first porno. Anyway, right, let's go. Okay, I think I maybe found the issue. I think I starved this carb of fuel because there's a little kink in this, little kink in this thing here. So I got rid of that kink, and then shut up, autofocus. I got rid of that kink, and then fuel started pissing into the carb. So, but not out of it, luckily. So I think I'm going to try that again and see if I can get this running on all 3. Let's do this. Right. Right, I'll put the spark plug on now. Whoops. Right, now we're cooking. I'm going to make this quick in the garage because it's full of fumes, but that was good. Turns out putting the 3rd spark plug on properly again after taking it up and checking also helps cure a misfire. Who would have thought the misfire was... That coil's not hot either. Decent. Sorry, chatting my ass. Sounding better. I think the timing's probably off slightly. I can change that with the unit, but you can kind of tell on tick over it was just a bit like so yes, fuel starvation from that carburetor. That's good. The fuel starvation isn't good. That's good I've solved that problem. Easy enough. I don't know why. I think probably just I'm in split minds about wanting to run it continually. I'm happy it turns over, it starts. It sounds okay. I think, I don't know. People, what should I do? Leave something for me in the comments. I'm now at a stage where the bike runs and I'm happy it runs. So the carburetors are fine, they did their job. That's what I wanted them for. I'm going to use the Triumph carbs, but this is a good set of carbs. It helps get the bike running. I want to make sure that that engine's as good as it can be. A, how it looks, and B, if I can, whilst I've got bits apart to paint and everything else, if I can have a look at bits and give them a service whilst it's on my workbench, then that's absolutely fine as well. I'll do that too. These engines tend to suffer a second gear issue where wear of the dogs over a certain period of time causes the gear to slip out, so you can undercut the gear and make sure that it's always perfectly engaged, or better engaged than it would be. So that's something I need to do as well. My LEDs are progressing in the background, so I think I'm at a place now where I could potentially have some LEDs sorted. I'll go into that in a bit more detail at another time. But from an electrical point of view, to get the bike running, the only other thing I need to do potentially is get my regulator rectifier connected up and then fit that new side cover from where the engine tried to eat itself. But I'm not concerned about that. I think that was there was a bolt that was loose. So what I've done is I've tightened that up. I got my neighbour to hold the engine at the other side, because otherwise, as soon as I tightened it up enough, it just started spinning. So funnily enough, there's nothing I could find in the manual that tells me a spec for that, so unless I've not looked hard enough. So I'm going to go have a look at that again. What do you think? Do you think it sounds good? I think it sounds pretty badass. It's going to be a short little video, I think. I'm still waiting on that side cover coming through. Christ, I'm gibbering so much. Right. Shall we start it again? I could do with a timing light. A timing light would be nice. Ah, fuck it, let's start it again. Yeah, okay. I don't want oil pissing at that too much. I probably should have put that thing in. So that was good. The second time, I probably shouldn't have started up. There was oil coming out of the bit that I said I was going to block up with a tachometer, but fairly chuffed with how that's sounding. There's some weird black shit coming out the exhaust, but I think that's just rust from the old exhaust. It's been sat for years and years, so nothing I'm too concerned about. Next episode, this is just going to be a quick episode. Next episode I will delve into some of the bits that I'm developing. So I've got some switch gear I'm looking at. I want to talk in a bit more detail about that. I've got some tail lights that I've briefly spoken about before, but I just want to get right into the nitty gritty with it and let everyone know what's happening. So I think we'll call this episode here. It's just going to be short and sweet, but it was a good success. Turns out you need fuel to all 3 cylinders to help the bike run as though it's not misfiring. Who would have thought it? But it's nice to know it was something as simple as a fueling issue. That kink in the hose was just a pain in the arse. So that coil, which was getting hot, doesn't seem to be hot now. So whether by reconnecting my battery and eliminating a dodgy earth potentially might have been enough just to make that run a little bit nicer. So happy with that as well. I don't know whether, yeah, I don't know why that didn't work. So there's some bits in the wiring that need tidied up, but again, I'm not that arsed about that at the moment. Everything's a bit of a stramash being the Scottish word for it looks shite in here. It just looks as though someone's taken spaghetti and dumped it on top, but that was always going to be that case until I could get everything wired up and put in its nice home position. But I'm not going to do that until I got my switches and everything else all run. So yeah, I'm quite motivated now. Yeah, I was really depressed before. I didn't want to do anything. Now that the bike starts, apparently everything's fine. No, I'm quite chuffed with that, to be honest. Good bike. Yeah, let's call that video there. Short and sweet, for anyone who's not into my 40-minute biopics. I will do a much longer video next time with more details, but I'm just happy. Good successful Sunday morning here in the motorcycle garage. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. If you've got any helpful information from just anything you've seen in this video that I could do better, please let me know. And until next time, take it easy folks. See you later.